Well, hello there, and welcome to Getting Lit with me, Tommy Calloway. And tonight we are going to talk a little bit about some things that have showed up in the studio over the past week. One of them being the Rhodolite Titan X2. Timing this intro out was not easy. Welcome to the stream. Let's go ahead and pour the same bottle we've been drinking for the past several streams because I just haven't gotten another one yet. This one's almost empty though, maybe a couple more streams in us. Then we will move on to possibly the Highland Park 18-year, which is one of my favorites. Tonight we have the Pro Blends all set up doing this nice kind of a back and forth motion between the Titan X2 and a couple of the other lights that we have in the background. Cheers. So tonight, the lighting is a little bit dim on me. We have the A7S III with the 35mm f1.8, just the Sony lens to kind of light me. I don't have much lighting on my face, so I wanted to use a really low aperture just because I wanted to have it kind of dark in here. I've been having the light kind of blasting my face the past couple times, and I decided not to do that. For the background, we have... Let's wait till the stream cam gets... the slider cam gets all the way up here. And then I'll kind of talk through these lights as it slides past them. So I sold the Komodo, and then I bought more lights and a couple more A7S IIIs. The Titan X2, I was excited about it, and I got it. I ordered it, and it's here now. And I'm very excited about it. It is directly behind me over here for this. And then behind it, I have the Rhodolite Titan X1 doing that nice red glow. And you can see also the Aperture 120D. We just passed it. It's kind of lighting up the microphone there. Then the light panels Gemini 1x1 soft. There on the purple with the above it, the Aperture Nova being battery powered by the dual V-mount battery bay dock. And then just above that is the Lupo Super Panel Full Color 60, which is not really doing a whole, or I'm sorry, Full Color 30 with a grid, which is not really doing a whole lot. I should have probably turned that one up a bit, but it's in the corner and then it kind of just scrolls back up to the top. So I have this kind of light wall built back there because I'm setting up to do the huge 1x1 showdown, but that's not going to happen really until the end of April, maybe the beginning of May, because I have a few other things that I need to film before that. But I kind of started thinking about it and started pulling out some of the lights for that showdown. And of course the whiskey cam over here. Cheers. And here's the Titan X2 behind me. What's going on, Edgardo? Thanks for showing up. You're passing through the Kennedy Space Center and you use the A7S III and film the SpaceX launch at 35,000 feet from the cockpit of your airplane. That's cool. I'd like to see that. What's going on, Tyler? Thanks for showing up. Thanks for showing up to the stream. I was excited. Well, I mean, obviously this stream is every Thursday night, but I was especially excited to get this one out because I finally got the Titan X2. I've been waiting for a little while. It got stuck in customs. I had to submit a form because if you buy something worth more than $2,500 overseas, because they are in the UK, then it gets stuck in customs until you submit a form with a whole bunch of personal info, so they have it on record. So I did that, and then it went through and it showed up, and here it is. And it's beautiful. Obviously, I know a lot about this light already because, of course, I reviewed the Titan X1, which is right here. And that's dope light. One of my favorite lights. In fact, that's why I got the X2. It replaces two lights that I used all the time, which was the Lupo Full Color 60 soft and hard. I'd have to swap those out once in a while, and because I didn't want to have to do that anymore, I got the X2 because it's two lights in one, soft and hard. Eduardo, this is not the Jib one. This is the Rhino Arc 2. I did a whole video on this setup that I have with the probe lens. In fact, you can actually see the probe lens right here. Yeah, you can watch it go behind me. And you'll see the Rhino pop out into the frame here in just a second. Here it comes. And yeah, it's kind of out of focus, but yeah, whatever. No, it's not the Jib one. That's actually why I got the probe lens for this thing, because you can see how when the probe lens is moving, the camera is pointing in a different direction, but it looks like the whole camera is moving around a whole lot because the lens is so long. When you point it somewhere, it creates a lot of horizontal and vertical motion and movement, and so it looks like it's on a jib, but in reality, it's just pointing the camera up and down, you know, and sliding a little bit. So the Rhino works really well with the probe lens to get those jib-like shots. And additionally, the A7S III is at ISO 14,000 right now, and it looks pretty clean. At least I think it does, because it's the A7S III, and the lens, the probe lens, is like f20, I think. So if you want to use it for a shot like what I'm doing, where you have everything lit the same, a bunch of A7S IIIs, bumping up over beyond the 12,800 ISO limit really makes that possible. So that's my live stream setup for tonight. Tyler, if you want to buy mine, I'm considering going to the Kessler Cineshooter, the one with the V-mount thing built into the side. It's a little bit more expensive, but I think that one would do more of what I'm trying to accomplish. The Rhino Arc 2 is cool. It's pretty user-friendly. It's just, I think that what I'm trying to accomplish, I need more what the Kessler Cineshooter does. It's the new one that is coming out or has just come out. So if you really want to buy one, let me know and maybe we'll work out a deal. Johnny D, what is your go-to style for video editing? Maybe something that you lean on quite a bit. Well, currently I'm leaning on this chair from, I know that's not what you meant, but get a good chair if you're going to be spending a lot of hours editing, because your back is important. I use DaVinci Resolve, the studio version now, because if you want to edit 10-bit footage, you need to get the studio version. And I got the studio version because when I ordered it, it came with the this little Blackmagic speed editor, which I need to use more often. I don't really use it that often. It's just I got it for free basically because I bought Studio. My go-to style for video editing, if you want to save time editing, write scripts so you spend less time recording and cutting footage. Try and have a library of music that you're comfortable with, or at least I do. A lot of the music is very similar across my videos. Sometimes I'll go through and get new tracks. I don't know. I don't really have a particular style. Oh, actually, I do. One thing that I do is I moved all my cameras to the A7S III, and I film everything in S-Log3, and I created my own LUTs. So color grading all the footage is instantaneous once I've graded one. And most of the time I just throw my own LUT on it, which I sell those LUTs for $10 now. And I think they're excellent. If you expose these skin tones at IRE like 65, then you just drop the LUT on, it looks great. And I matched the colors of the A7S III to the Komodo when I had it, and I created a LUT for that, and that's also in that LUT pack. It's been saving me a ton of time, and several people have bought it, and I've not had any complaints. I've had some recommendations, so there's that. Yeah, Tyler, I learned that I needed to script things more often when I was using the Komodo because I didn't have enough time to just ramble and edit the videos with the Komodo because I would run out of data. And I figured that I should script videos as often as possible anyways because it just saves time. It's faster. Sometimes I don't script my videos, and I think that those videos have higher retention because it feels more like it's a process of discovery with whoever's watching it. And I kind of want to do that more. I think I'm clipping here. I kind of want to do that more often. It's just writing the script takes so much time, and it feels so robotic. And when I'm reviewing a piece of equipment on a script, I feel like I'm trying to cover specs. And when I'm reviewing a piece of equipment, but I'm just talking to the audience, it feels more like I'm learning about what I like and what I don't like about the equipment rather than trying to just stick to the numbers. I don't know. I don't know if that answers your question, but let's go back to that probe lens shot. And I'm going to have a drink. What's up, Paul from Australia? Huzzah, pretty muted key. Yeah, actually, I don't have any key light tonight. All my key light is just f1.8, ISO 1250, and my computer monitors. I turned all the key. I mean, all I'm getting, my key light is basically just the reflection of the wall from the Titan X2, which is very dimly set behind me. Yeah, I wanted to go for something a little bit darker today. What's going on, Kevin? Welcome back to YouTube. For those of you that tuned in last week, Kevin was on, and he finally got his channel back from the Bitcoin hackers. Congratulations. I'm very excited for you. I'm glad to see you back on the platform. So what's going to happen to Kevin, that other channel you made? The one that's got like what, three videos on it now? I watched like 3 hours of content. You should have gotten closer to that 4,000 hours of watch time on it. Yeah, he got his channel back. I mean, he's commenting on the live stream from it, so you know that's a pretty good indicator. I put the microphone in this probe lens shot because I wanted to have more depth and more things, you know, like the lens passing by it. That was interesting. So I guess we're going to open this up to a Q&A because I was just really excited about the Titan X2 and I wanted to flex and do this sweet probe lens shot and show it off to you guys. I will be doing a review of it, even though I've already covered a lot of the Rhodolite Titan ecosystem with the X1 review. I'm still going to do a review and some practical applications using a 2x1 panel with the X2. But I just wanted to talk about it. I was excited about it. I had to use it. Benjamin says, hey there. Been greatly enjoying your channel since I first discovered it in the Tommy Gerald Curtis crossover a while ago. Thank you. Yeah, that was a fun one. I'm glad that they were gracious enough to join me for that video. Those guys are great. Kevin says to Bart Johnson Productions, hey man. There, that gets a cheers. So the aperture stuff, you guys have any questions on that? Because that came in and then I made a video about it in about, I don't know, 24 hours because as soon as I was waiting for everything that they were going to release to arrive, everything that they were sending me anyways, that I asked for. And by the time it all showed up, the release date was like 24. No, I'm sorry. I got it the day of the release date. So within an hour of release. So I made a video as fast as I could, just talking about the stuff. And it was, you know, not my greatest video. I didn't have time to put everything through its paces, but we do have the Aperture dual V-mount dock over there powering the Nova. And that thing is awesome. And I want to point out that it's been on this whole stream. The fans aren't going because it's not getting hot. There's no fan noise. All the other dual V-mount converter tools that I have, which here's an example. This is the Rhodolite dual V-mount battery to 24 or 48 volt converter that I use to power the Titan X1 or X2. As soon as I turn it on, I don't know if you can hear, but those fans blow, and that, obviously I don't like fan noise, so I will only use this really when I'm trying to demonstrate fan noise indoors, or if I am doing anything outside not close to a plug to actually plug the light in. Because come on guys, fan noise, we should, if you have a light really low power, you should have a tool that, you know, will not create fan noise. Like, and I think that is exactly what Apture did when they were designing their dual V-mount thing. They knew that I was going to say those things, so I'm really glad that the fans haven't spun up on me yet. So there's that. Bart says he's been on shoots for the past 6 days and has 7 more days to go. So I've been out of touch with the YouTube world. Yeah, that's Kevin had a whole situation go down and he lost his career and got back. Nils hasn't watched the video yet. Yeah, dude, watch the video. You'll like it. They got the Apture barn doors in there, and the barn doors Apture produced for the Nova are great for the Nova. I really like them. Tyler says, curious why they didn't put felt lining on the Nova barn doors. You know, I was thinking about that too. I don't have an answer for it because I know that their other barn doors for the Fresnel has that felt in it, and I really like the felt. I imagine that the Nova would probably tear the felt, like the way the Nova is going to be used in a professional environment. I feel like that felt might get torn up really fast. That's my only thought. Bart says he's got the dual battery bank and ran it with 98 watt hours, 150 watt hours, and 190 watt hour batteries with a 200D at 100% and saw how long they took to die. I didn't get to make a video because I've been so busy. Yeah, it's apparently it's one of the more efficient V-mount, you know, voltage converters that exists today. You know, latest technology and all that. So it will convert less of that energy to heat and more to power the fixture. Hey Tracy, thank you for showing up. Yeah, the Rhodolites are delicious. Freaking love them. Definitely some of my favorite lights that I've got. Obviously, so as you guys know, I review lights, a lot of them, and companies send me lights for free all the time. I have absolutely no reason to go out of pocket for any lights ever again in my entire life, but I still put thousands of dollars down for the X2. They did give me a discount because I was going to review it anyways, and I have a good relationship with Rhodolite, but I still had to pay several thousands of dollars for my X2. It was not free. I went out of pocket for it. So the fact that I bought a light, even though I already have all the lights, says something about the quality of a product and how much I like it. So I love the Rhodolites, the Titans anyways. Bart says, Tommy, I just looked at my Apture battery bank and it says Tommy Calloway approved on the bottom. Crazy. Does it really? Did they put a stamp on it? Because I doubt that they did, but you know, I wouldn't put it past them. They might, I mean, if they knew they were sending it to one of my friends or, you know, maybe they'd print out a label. That'd be funny if they did. Bart, if you're reviewing that, you should print out a label and put it on there that says Tommy Calloway approved, if there's not already one, and I'll endorse it. Tracy says, I want the X1 bad, but I have 3 EOS, 2 Neos, 2s, and 1 Innova Pro 2. Yeah, that's a lot of lights. Well, you know, that's kind of a lot of lights, you know, coming from me. My 1x1 showdown that will be around the beginning of May, it's going to have 9 different 1x1 RGB WW panels. So a lot of lights is a relative term, I suppose. Bart says, glad to see you back. To Kevin, yeah, definitely. So when you do your video, let me know if you need a clip. Here, you can just rip it from this live stream. Tommy Calloway approved. I feel like if I had a really big channel, that snippet right there would be turned into a meme and used on all kinds of different things. Should be careful about that. It's kind of like putting yourself behind a green screen. You know, people will just go wild with it. Paul says, I have 3 cruddy and stupidly cheap lights from Amazon. We'll eventually get some real lights. Yeah, you know, if you need lights, you know who to ask. I am currently selling a few of my panels that I have retired from my studio, not because I don't like them. I have someone who's interested in picking up the both Lupo full color 60s and the DOP choice grids that go with them, and the DOP choice softbox and the grid for that. I'm letting that whole kit go for $37.50. I'm obviously not turning a huge profit on it. I'm not trying to gouge and make a huge killing on it. It's like, you know, that's a really good deal. I am only selling those lights because I am running out of room again. And if I don't have any room in my studio, I can't produce more content. I have a new monitor in here that I can't talk really much about it, but I'm using it. I can actually show it to you for a second here. So I have 2 monitors there. There's one. There's another one. I'm actually testing out that other one, and we'll be reviewing it soon. Obviously, just got the Rhodolite Titan X2, and there's another light, and I have 3 more lights coming. So I have a whole bunch of lights coming. I have several packages inbound, and if I don't sell those lights, I will literally have nowhere to put them. So that's what happens. And really the only reason I sell lights is when I don't have any room for a light. And when I got the X2, I got that one specifically to replace 2 lights to save space. Also, the interface is freaking dope. I don't know if you've seen my X1 review. I love the interface. Kevin says, Tommy should have camera manufacturers include labels on their cameras. Tommy Calloway says buy lights. Yeah, you know, they could just retweet me too. I'm pretty sure I have that pinned tweet. It says a new camera came out today. You know what that means? Buy lights. Tracy Daniel Davis says, would you say the X1 is worth saving up for versus just getting the Nova? That is a tough question. I really love the Nova. The Nova is definitely one of the best lights in terms of value, dollar for dollar, what you're getting out of it. And now that they have the dual V-mount battery bank, it's even more useful, more valuable. But the Rhodolite is, but here we go. If you're already invested, Tracy, and you said you are already invested in the Rhodolite ecosystem, I might say you might want to stick with the Rhodolite ecosystem. If you already had a whole bunch of aperture lights and used Sidus Link, I'd say 100%. The Nova would be worth it. But if you're not already invested into Aperture's ecosystem, you don't already use Sidus Link, in that case, I think that the Rhodolite Titan X1 might be more versatile. If you haven't already watched my full huge review on the Titan X1, watch it. It is an expensive light, but it's also both a soft light and a hard light, and the interface is far superior to anything I've ever used. If you're a photographer, it has the HSS high-speed flash sync features built into it, so then absolutely it's more useful to a photographer. I don't know. It's up to you. Watch my reviews of the Titan X1 and then come back to me after you've watched it, and then we'll talk. If if you want to send me DMs about specific needs for what you're using it for, I'm happy to discuss with you. So, I mean, I personally invested in the X2. So, I mean, that's where my money is. I'm also buying another Nova. I say buy both. But, I mean, that's coming from the guy that buys all the lights. So, I don't know. That's a hard question to answer. It depends on what you're using it for. Paul says he shipping to Western Australia isn't really worth it. Yeah. Selling used gear to Australia seems like a challenge. And there's that Pro Blend shot. Paul says he's going to use the or finish it with a Geraldine done. All right, I'm done. Tracy says he also has a 300D, 200D Mark 1 and 200D Mark 2, but none of those are compatible with Sidus Link unless you also get the Sidus Bridge. So again, I mean, that's up to you, I guess, right? I don't know. I freaking love the Titan X1. I think it's an engineering marvel, and you'll never be disappointed with it every time you use it. Do yourself a favor. If you are going to get the Titan X1, also budget in for the flight case, because that case is awesome. It's super, like, it's really slim. It's not really wide. Super durable. It's got wheels on it. It's actually the best flight case that I own for any of my lights. It's well worth it. So budget yourself to also get that case, because if you're ever going to take it anywhere, you're going to need that. With a super expensive light like that, you're not going to want to let it get thrown around in the back of a truck. Hey Ron, thanks for showing up to the live stream. Appreciate it. Bart says he was talking with his gaffer about aperture lights and other brands, and he told me something that struck me. He buys light panels because DPs know the name and grips know how to use them. Well, there's a Light Panels Gemini 1x1 soft in the stream right there. It is a fantastic light, and one of my favorite things about the Light Panels Gemini is the presets. And I talked about it in my review that I did like a couple years ago now. It's you have 6 preset buttons on there that are programmed to the range of Kelvin temperatures from like 2700 up to like 6500. But then you hit a button to switch those 6 presets into user presets, and they're physical buttons. And then you can have 6 presets, right? Yeah. So you can have all your own colors or special effects, or remember all the settings, even the fan settings for the fixture, and it's really easy to recall those presets. So if you're planning out a scene or a shoot beforehand, you can stick all of your presets into those user presets, and then it will speed up your shooting throughout the day when you're dialing in those settings. Scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, all the way up to scene 6. And so I think that their physical implementation of user presets is the best on probably any fixture, including the Titan, because they're physical presets, they're physical buttons, and they just work really, really well for that. The V-mount converter plate, the one that converts the V-mount battery into power for the fixture, has a pass-through that lets you plug in the AC cord to it. And I don't know how I feel about it. It seems like if I leave a V-mount battery attached to it while the fixture is turned off, it's going to drain that battery slowly. So by the time I turn the fixture on the next day, that battery will have been drained. So you have to disconnect the battery still. I wish that the V-mount thing had a physical switch to turn off battery power. That's really my only complaints about it so far. I don't know. I mean, there's so many good things about all these fixtures. One thing I do want to mention about the Gemini 1x1 soft is it's super affordable now. They're like $16.50. They're right in range with the Nova, and they're a lightweight fixture, and they're very high quality. So That's a great fixture. Bart Johnson says, hopefully more grips will become familiar with aperture lights so I can use them on big shoots without supervision. Yeah, one thing I mean, if you're comparing the Nova to the Gemini, then the Nova has way more output. So there's that. Tyler says he's wrecked from his shoot tonight, off to bed, enjoyed the stream. Well, Tyler, here, you get a cheers. Boom. Thanks for showing up. And with that, this glass is empty. Back to the probe shot. Irfan Elijah says, Tommy, love your videos. X1 is $2,700. P300C is $1,700. Is the X1 really worth $1,000 more? Yeah, it is. If you've watched my video, then you may understand why. Here's the thing. If you buy the X1, I think my promo code is still active for it. So you can get the Rhodolite Titan X1 with the V-mount converter, and you get $1,000 off. So it's like $3,000 for the whole thing. So that promo code is going to go away, I believe, at the end of March, and then the X1 will be a $4,000 fixture. They did the same thing with the X2. They had an intro deal that saved you $1,000, and now it's super duper expensive. They're just trying to get them out into the marketplace so people become familiar with them and people fall in love with them. It's marketing. So I think that promo code is still active. I think it's Tommy-Titan, actually. If you watch my review, there's a link with all the details in it. But that electronic diffusion is 100% worth it in my opinion. I mean, like I said, that's why I threw down. That's why I paid for the X2, because the electronic diffusion. I'll demonstrate that for you here. I turned the diffusion on, I took the diffusion off, but obviously there's bokeh, so can't really see it. Live stream. I know what I can do. Boom. So here's this. This is why it's worth it to me. Look at that. Live stream powers. That electronic diffusion saves me from having to tear down and put back up 2 different light fixtures based on the type of lighting that I'm trying to do. So that time savings is worth it to me. That time savings might not be worth it to you. So that is a personal decision. I think that it's worth it. Anything that saves me 10 seconds is worth $1,000, because over the course of the next several years, it's just going to save me more and more time. That compounded time of trying to get the different accessories mounted, to set the fixtures appropriately, to get the settings all set up, and then putting the other one away, finding space for the fixture, because space is a premium in my environment here. All those things are worth it to me. Bart says, Tommy, we've been using a ton of Geminis. I'm just saying it's hard for new brands and fixtures to break into industry work. If any brand has a chance at breaking into the industry, it's got to be Aperture. They are making some really incredible things, let alone, just the dual V-mount converter. That tool in itself, how it doesn't start making fan noise as soon as you turn it on. And like I've said, for my own personal use cases and my own lighting scenarios, it has never made fan noise. That's important. If you need lighting in a dimly lit space and it's a sound sensitive situation, you're trying to get good audio, that's important to me. That tool was made by Aperture. Aperture understands what's important to a professional using a tool like that. So I think that their other tools have a really good chance at breaking into the industry. Your gaffer is dying to buy some Aperture lights, but he knows his market won't be asking for them. Yeah, I guess maybe that's just because they don't know about them. If you had sky panels available and you had the Nova available, if if they know what the Nova is capable of, it seems like it's a no-brainer for them to take the Nova. I think that early on, availability really hurt Aperture because it's so hard. It was so hard to get a hold of their fixtures. In fact, I think still some people have pre-orders that are like that don't have their hands on them. Once you solve that problem, then I think it's going to be a lot more possible for them to break into the industry. Rhodolite doesn't have any dealers in Australia. Well, I bought mine from the UK also, Paul. So there's that. I think you can also buy them from B&H. I bought mine directly from Rhodolite. Just, I like dealing with companies. You were telling your gaffer about the electronic diffusion on the Titans. Yeah, that electronic diffusion changes the game. It's really odd. Like, I know that's like a cliche statement, but it's awesome. Kobe, hi Tommy. Would you rather have one Titan X2 or two Titan X1s with V-mount adapters? That's a tough question. I think that if I had to choose one of those two situations, I would go with two Titan X1s, because at the end of the day, you could put two Titan X1s right next to each other to make a Titan X2, and you'd also be able to break them apart to make more dynamic lighting scenarios, a key light and a backlight, a background light. That's what I would go. I would go with two Titan X1s if I had to pick. I personally went with a Titan X1 and a Titan X2 because the Titan X2, when I'm finished creating my review on it, will graduate to my permanent key light for most scenarios. That's the X2 is awesome. The X1 really honestly is becoming a character in my videos where it's always in the background. It's always just kind of got this menacing presence of existing in my videos because I love the way it looks. It looks so cool. I mean, here we go. Come on, guys. This thing is, you can't not show it off. It's like, for the camera guys, it's like an Airy or a Red, you know? It's like how Potato Jet always had his, has his like cinema camera in the background with like a matte box. That's how I see the Titan X1. That's why I like it so much. One, it's a character in my videos because it's sexy. Two, it provides the background light that I would be doing anyways. I would be providing some type of color fill for my background like I always do anyways. So it fills that role. And the X2 fills the role of, I need a really nice key light that can also be more versatile for like when I'm filming B-roll and I need a punchy light or whatever. So that's why I got both. Kevin says, let's start with Bart. He was first. I agree. Aperture's on the cusp of being on the tips of big DP's tongues. Yes, that is true. Especially with the 600D and 600D Pro. Kevin says to Tommy, time versus money. I agree. I have the same opinion on computers. An extra $1,000 can save hundreds of hours over a year period and a lot of frustration. Yeah, if you're spending a ton of time doing something and you can just throw money at a problem to save you time on an ongoing basis, that's no question to me. You only get 24 hours a day until you die. Money comes and goes. Bart says, really didn't like the way that sentence sounded, but yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, tips of the big DP's tongues. That's a strange sentence. Paul says, there is an Australian company that sells the X2, which is priced at USD $4,000 on Rhodolite's website. Basically in Australia, it's USD $6,800. Yeah, the X2 is a $4,000 light. It seems like everything is more expensive in Australia. Why is that? Like, Not just a little bit, like a lot. Kobe says X1 for the background swag. Lit, thanks. You got it, man. And with that, it seems like we are all caught up on questions, and my glass is dry. And the probe lens, well, it's doing its work. I'll actually be on a stream for Laowa in a couple weeks on a Friday night at 10 p.m. It's their series they're doing called Meet the Masters, so look out for that. I'll be talking about some Laowa glass, and I'll be on their channel. And I'm not changing this thing. This'll still be Thursdays at 10, but it'll be, I think, on the 26th, 10 p.m. I'll be on Laowa's channel talking about their glass using wide lenses and stuff. So that's cool. That was just kind of set up today. What's going on, Ryan? Thanks for showing up. Here, you got. I set up this probe lens shot. What do you think of it? Give me some feedback. Paul says they call it the Australian tax. And Bart says it's because they're the island. Yeah, did you know Australia is as big as the United States? Like, geographically. I know maps kind of change things the way they look, but Australia is as big as the USA. It is huge. And they have 1/10 the population. But most of the population is centered around the beach, I guess. I learned all this because I was looking at houses in Australia. And then, I don't know, we'll see what happens there. That's not going to happen this year anyways. But it's a muse, it's an idea, it's a thought. Paul says back before Adobe went to CC pricing, Creative Cloud pricing, it was cheaper for me to fly to LA to buy a box copy of the Adobe Master Suite than it was to buy a digital download in Australia. That sounds terrifying because I like to buy things. So I don't know how that's going to work. Bart says to me, Tommy, tell Laowa I want them to send me an Yeah, dude, that's a sweet lens. It's like $5,000, isn't it? I want them to send me one too. So, when I figure that out, I'll send you the beat, I'll give you the FYI. Filipino Singing Show says, do you think the 60D can provide a key light even when a big octagon is attached? I need to be extremely versatile, so I'll should buy 260X or 260D or 1300D2. A big octagon, I don't know. If you're using their Light Dome SE, which I have up here. Where is it? If you're using the Light Dome SE and you have a decently fast lens, like f2.8 and I don't know, like a Sony a7S III, then yeah, it could be your key light. I would say the 60D would be more capable in that regard in terms of the 60X because the 60X is half the output. But if you are trying to blast against daylight or you need way more output, then just get a 300D2. Personally, I like the 60X because it's the most versatile hair light. It's got the projection lens, the Fresnel piece built in, barn doors, VMAP power. You can stick it anywhere. It's lightweight. I like the 60X as a versatile light. So if I were you and you don't have need for super high intense light, get one 60X and one 60D. Filipino says, nice studio, by the way. Sexy lights. Thank you. Bart Johnson says, normal people call it the coast. Tommy calls it the beach. Well, you know what? I'm not local. Very nice, fun, unique angle to play with. Way to go with the Laowa stream. Might have to chat with you about that. Yeah, hit me up. Send me a DM on Twitter or Instagram. Pretty active on all those things. Kobe says, have you noticed any differences between Rhodolite skin tones and the skin tones for your other lights? Rhodolite skin tones, no. So what I've realized, really, and this is a huge tip, listen to this about lights if you're worried about skin tones, lights, and colors. Lights have a spectrum, CRI, TLCI, kind of help you get a gauge on that spectrum, and SSI is like a really good gauge on the spectrum. But you should pay more attention to color temperature. Color temperature, so I personally prefer looking at with my own eyes daylight color temperature, like 5600 Kelvin, because I like white light. But that is not good for skin tones. If you use a tungsten colored light, whether it be an LED light or a real tungsten, and you balance your camera for that tungsten light, your skin tones are going to look way better. This is because your skin has more tungsten color in it than it has daylight color. So if you give it tungsten light, red light, orange, red to orange hues and stuff like that, it is going to look better in camera. The best example I can give you of that is, suppose you have something, and you can do this yourself in your own house if you have any RGB style light, right? So if you have anything that has red on it, like this, and then you shine a green or a blue light at it, it'll look completely black. But as soon as you shine that red, you add red light into it, it will glow. That's how your skin works. If you give it tungsten light, it's going to look better. And that's really the easiest way to put it. So what I personally have been doing is I film everything at 5500 Kelvin or 5600 Kelvin, but my fill light, I will put it 5000 Kelvin. And that's how I get my skin tones to look more healthy. And that's my little Tommy's tip of the day, I guess. Filipino Seeing Show says, and as a sound engineer, I appreciate the Sennheiser mic. Thank you. So here's another hot tip for sound. This is not the Sennheiser MKH416. I use the Sennheiser for all of my videos where I produce the videos, but for this particular for the live streams, I use the Synco D2 because it has a near identical sound profile to the MKH416 if you don't have the windscreen on it. If you have the windscreen on it, it sounds really muted. It doesn't sound great, but without the windscreen, it sounds really close to that. And I would be able to tell the difference if I was recording it and producing it with the Mix Pre 3 Mark II and 32-bit audio and running my audio preset over it. But I use the Mix Pre 3 Mark I for my live streams right here. And I plug that into my A10 Mini Pro. Because with 24-bit audio, if you ran 32-bit audio into a live stream, it would clip because the A10 Mini Pro doesn't know how to process 32-bit audio. It can't get all the data, all the value of 32-bit audio out of it. So I just use the mix. And also when you're recording 32-bit audio with the Mix Pre 3 Mark II, then you can't use the hardware limiters. You have to turn the limiters off because it doesn't need limiters. It's 32-bit audio. Therefore, when it gets pushed through to the A10 Mini Pro that can't handle 32-bit audio, it clips. So I use the Mix Pre 3 Mark I for my live streams with the Synco D2, which is a much cheaper audio setup, but the Mix Pre 3 Mark I has very similar or the same hardware audio limiters, the Cashmere preamps and limiters and stuff, and it'll push in really good audio into the A10 Mini Pro. Even if I scream into the mic, it sounds really, really good. So that's my audio setup, and I recommend you do the same thing. Software for streaming, I am just using the A10 Mini Pro. It's not even controlled by the computer. It's unplugged during the streams. It's only plugged in over USB really to if I need to change a graphic or adjust the picture-in-picture screen or something like that. I don't use any software for my streaming because I find it too unreliable. And Bart says, we're trained now towards 56 to 6500 Kelvin because of computer screens and TVs. Yeah, I mean, I just like the way it looks. Tungsten, I think, looks too old-fashioned. I just personally don't like it. Oh, until next week when Blackmagic releases the A10 Mini Pro Max V2 audio. Good point. So anyways, guys, that's it for my stream tonight. I am actually starving. I want to go get some fourth meal. We always have dinner, but then there's fourth meal, and it's going to come early tonight because I'm hungry. To tell you the truth, I'm going to get some Taco Bell because I like Taco Bell. There we go. And that's why I'm ending my stream early for Taco Bell, because I'm hungry. That's great. If you guys would like some more Tommy, and you should because my videos are super dope, you should go watch all my videos and leave them on repeat. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Yeah, there we go. See you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll see you next time. Peace.